Let's go podcast. It's been a long night last night. Some ups, some downs. Some might say some ups and a lot of downs from the HSL perspective. However, it was a awesome event. I honestly, as the event went on, it started getting a little bit later into the night. People started filling in. The food came, the vibes, it was really spectacular. The fact that we pulled something off with MSL like that is amazing. Obviously, a ton of the credit goes to the guys at MSL, Yitz and Ezzy. I never in a million years thought this could happen the way it happened. It was absolutely awesome, and I want to give them props for the event. In terms of the game itself, we'll get into right now. A lot happened. 2 games.
Wait,
HSL.
before you get into the game, I want to before you get.
No,
into the
I'm
game,
just for the viewers who haven't seen it. HSL squeaked out game one. MSL pretty much controlled. In the sixth inning, blew it open, and from then on out, controlled the last couple innings in game two, and we'll have a lot to get into.
Yeah, okay. I want to give a special thank you to MSL, to Ezzy and Yitz Greenbaum for putting together a really, really fun night. Thank you to the sponsors, Jake Byrne, Addictive Research, and also to special thank you to Smash House, who came through with amazing food and then delivered food again after the game, which was pretty amazing that we got more burgers. Special thank you also to Steve for marshaling the troops on our side and getting everybody to schlep up to Muncie. It's great to have a guy like Steve in our corner, because if Avi tells people to come to Muncie, they say you're crazy. If Steve says it, they say you're crazy, but we'll come.
I've been called that many times.
But also special props also to Avi. I think it's a testament to both leagues that this happened, but I know, Steve, you said back when you were a kid, you were schlepping up to Muncie for hockey, but Avi was the guy schlepping up to Muncie for softball these last 4 or 5 years, as long as I know Avi, really, which is about 5 years, 6 years. So, Avi really, I think, helped make the shidduch, so to speak, between the two leagues to make this happen. All right, that's my piece. I'm done. I had an amazing time last night. I got home. I was sweating. I needed a shower. My wife's like, did you play? Like, why are you, walking like you just went through a war? And I said I was so into the game. I feel like
it's funny. I did the same exact thing. I got back. I got into bed. My kid woke up at 12:30. He woke up in the middle of the night. And I told my wife, I'm like, you got this one. I can't do it. She's like, what do you mean? Like, you're just sit. I'm like, I'm exhausted. I can't move. She's like, you didn't play.
Imagine how I felt.
I know.
So it was amazing intensity, very fun. Some of the guys on our squad who have played a million championships said this had more than a championship feel, because there was so much pride on the line. So it was really an amazing night. A lot of fun. So, all right, that's my bit. Now, Avi, we're waiting for a righteous rant from you. Avi's got a lot to say.
Let me just say one thing before Avi goes crazy. The event was amazing, and you guys and Ezzy and Yitz really pulled it off. It was very impressive. Those guys are great guys. It was great to meet them in person finally. It was also, from my perspective, it was very nice to, I play against a lot of these guys, 2, 3 times a week in different leagues. To play with Moshe Zinn for the first time ever, play with Hillel Rokoff for the first time ever. Hillel, I saw growing up in my shul, and now I finally get to play in the same field with him. And these guys are phenomenal players. Nenner I play with one of my other teams, so it wasn't the first time I played with him, but it's a good experience. It's an amazing perspective when you have that, see guys and play against them all the time, and now they're on you're on your team, and you get to appreciate how much talent they bring to the table when you don't when you're just trying to get them out and trying to neutralize them, and now you can appreciate all the good things they bring to a game. And having specifically those two guys on the left side of your field, now I know how Avi feels all these years,
Yeah.
and I've been lucky that
how I get away with my meatball fastball with my winning championships.
I've been lucky throughout my career to have great left side of the field guys. So now it's nice to add two other guys to that part.
Wow, Archie actually showed up. Avi, I think Archie's going to steal your thunder.
Archie, I was about to go on a rant, so if you want to give me a minute, you give me a minute. If you're otherwise too tempted, you could cut me off. It's up to you.
You definitely can start, because my rant's going to be R-rated, so you can go ahead.
Okay, Avi, why don't you start?
I'll just go. I'll go very quickly. Listen, 2 things. There's a lot that went into the roster configuration. Steven Yossi worked on it tremendously hard. I was witness to a lot of it. The one thing I will say is that it's extremely important in these type of games. Your hitting could be amazing. Your pitching could be amazing, but the bottom line is that a pitcher can make a pitch, a hitter could hit a pitch, but without a field, you're nothing. And when it comes to these games, such high leverage fielders, you look at the MSL roster, they were down four of their best fielders, better than anyone on that field last night. But they still look pristine, other than a couple of plays here and there. And the reason is because from what I saw, it looked like they totally differentiated fielding from hitting. It wasn't even in the same ballpark. They've
No,
got
no, no, no.
they
No.
got their hitters, they got their fielders. From my perspective, it looked like what we did was we were down a couple of big time players. Matt Rosenberg is probably the best outfielder on that field last night. Josh Goldenberg and Bloom, two of the top infielders on the field last night. Also down a couple up. Benji Horowitz, fantastic. I feel like once we went down 3-4 deep, we not decided, but we sort of settled. The word I was using earlier today, talking with somebody, is we didn't make that extra pivot, is what I saw. Or from MSL's perspective, they made the extra pivot. We didn't go deep into the archives of the great fielders that we have that aren't necessarily on the big time teams playing high level, Sunday morning softball. And maybe our guys who just have a hard time hitting B League pitchers and are hidden because they have a hard time hitting A League pitchers, so they're not playing necessarily all the time in A League, but are absolutely studs in the field. I think it showed big time. I think we had our outfield was massively outperformed, and a couple spots in the infield also was massively outperformed. And I just think that was due very largely to the fact that once we were not saying that we constructed the roster to not have that issue, but once we had those guys that were injured and out, I think we sort of settled instead of pivoted, and I think that's what played a tremendous role in, I would say, at least 5 of the 9/10 runs that were given up on the night on the HSL side.
Okay. Where do you want me to start? So
Wherever
I
you would like.
disagree.
Well, first of all, what do you think about what Avi said? First of all,
So there are some points I can agree on. I could agree, and there's many that I disagree. So okay, I'm gonna preface it and give my little summary. Let me preface with, first of all, I do think the commissioners, David, you, and whoever's on the other side as well. It was a very cute event. It was very nice. There was some
Thanks.
nice actos, and it was definitely fun to play. Personally, I wish this happened about like 8 years ago. I think it would have been 31-0 for the 5 towns, but it didn't. The reality is, and again, it could be months we'd had a whole different team as well. And before we talk about our team, kudos to the Muncie team. They're a very solid team, also well constructed, more pesky, chippier players, and that almost knew exactly how they're going to have to play. And hopefully a bounce or two or a mistake on our side, and they'll take advantage with their legs. And that's exactly what happened. I don't know exactly how many runs were scored total. Maybe a 10 from their side in the game.
Yeah,
Maybe one was
11,
maybe
I think.
one,
3 game
maybe
1,
one.
8 game 2.
Okay, maybe one was earned. Maybe I'm not even sure if there's an actual earned run in both games from our side, from their side, and it's not a knock on their team. It's not. That's how they play. They got legs. They're good hitters, and they try to take advantage of every opportunity that they have a chance to have base runners, and that's what they did. They won the way they did, and honestly, I'm just embarrassed of our performance from both games. I don't think we even deserved to win game 1. We had a couple decent hits here and there, and it fell through. We played overall sharp defense, and the bounces worked our way, and we got a victory. But then there was such complacency the second game. And again, it was hot and this and that, and like, okay, we got one, bro. The second game should have been. Again, the pitcher, I respect that guy. He throws strikes, but he's not a guy that blows it by you. We have so many good contact hitters, and there was just no hits. And you want to tell me, oh, we had a lineup for hitting and maybe not maybe lesser fielding or whatever it is. There was, if you rate the performance from all sides, you're talking about if I'm hitting fielding, you're talking about a 4 out of 10. Like, no one reached their potential. And again, there's no one to blame specifically. You play as a team, you win or lose as a team. So there's not like we're blaming anyone specifically, but we had barely any base runners. We had barely any hits. against the pitcher that's pretty much from both of their pitchers, just puts it in play for you hitters to be hitters. And and you talk about their defense weren't tested. Were they tested? A play here and there that they might have made. But other than that, it was routine plays, very routine. So I speak for myself and everyone. We did not hit to what our expectations are and to what we're very much capable of. We just didn't. So, and then you talk about the defense. You're right. You can talk about we should have had this guy and we should have had that guy. But you know what? You had very capable fielders there. And I think you just have to talk it out, be smart about it. And it's just positioning. I kept saying, guys, you're getting deceived from the infield. The dirt is so far back. They're sitting there so deep from hitters 5 to 10 on a pitcher they've never faced before that throws that speed. They are not getting around on you and beating you that way. And if one guy turns on one and hits it over your head, you tip your cap off to him and you say, what a shot. But I'm willing to dare anyone get one over and get a full swing on, get around on one on Steve, on Kaufman when they throw their heat and pull one over our fielders' heads with their range. They're not going to. So play 5-10 steps in. That was the difference in the game. And the range of some fielders that maybe should not been in those positions. But that's it. You either play to win or you don't. We had 18 guys at this lineup, invitational, whatever it is, and it's great and it's fun and it's a great. Again, for me, that's a great
I didn't follow
thing.
something, Archie. You were the big infield. You were critiquing the HSL fielding or the hitting with the big infield. I didn't
fielding.
No, the fielding.
You're saying
we were playing way too deep.
Way too deep.
Our outfield was too deep the whole game. I agree. I was saying it all game.
So that's why some balls were dropping in between the infield and the outfield.
That's the difference.
Those are really,
it's funny.
Okay.
You say the game, the cliche lines, the game of inches. The difference of a guy being 5 to 10 feet closer were the difference in that game yesterday. How many plays where Adam came running in and just boom, it bounced right before him. If he was 10 feet closer, that's a routine catch. Right fielder, same thing, 10 feet closer.
So maybe that's a heavy home field. So maybe that's a heavy home field advantage.
But again, you're baseball players, man. I'm not an outfielder. These guys are great outfielders. Now, sure, unfortunately, you're missing the best outfielders we've used to have. Shia Weiss is the Gold Gloves of Gold Gloves standard, and unfortunately, he's injured, and it's not the same with not having the outfield. A Yankee, people don't realize Yankee Iswitz used to be a Gold Glove outfielder, not injured, can't really play much of the field today. But you still have guys like Sperling, Adam, Jack. These are great outfielders. And you just have to know the game where it comes to you. Like, understand this is 5 to 10 guys facing Steve Pollen who have never faced speed like this. The odds are they're not going to crank one over your head. So understand that. They're chippier, pesky hitters. After the first game, we should have already learned that, or that should have already been in our heads, especially as the game goes. The ball gets heavier, worn out. It's heavier. It weighs more. It's heavy. You're not going to get one over the heads. And they tell them we played to.
So I don't understand, Archie. So how come nobody was grabbing the reins? How come nobody was grabbing the reins?
I tried. I kept screaming it.
We tried.
Screaming it.
A lot of guys are talking.
It was almost like these fielders were just nervous that they were going to get beat. One's going to beat them deep, and then everyone's going to scream at them. It was like they're playing with pressure. Guys, just play baseball. Be yourself. Play your game. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. If they let them earn it, let them earn it. If a guy bombs one over your head, they earned it. Simple as that. They earned it. And I do not like the ball being blooped and then the ball's being thrown around. I have so many questions about plays. I don't know. Like, it was just like, guys, calm, relax, take the ball, throw it to the lead base. It was just like, I don't know what it was.
Archie, to that point, I guess, sort of what I was saying before, I think from an HSL perspective, it really may make sense to get a guy. I don't know how familiar you are with these guys, but a guy like Jakey Goldenberg, who is a fantastic outfielder. These guys we have in the lineup are pros. They deserve to be on the team, deserve to be hitting almost every time up. But there are guys out there that could cheat a little bit and play a little bit deeper on defense because of how speeding they are and how fast they are and how quick they are. Matt Rosenberg could get away with it. Jakey Goldenberg could get away with it. I don't
disagree. You're right. 100%. I don't disagree with that. Our middle outfielders were probably lacking the range that they, or used to have. Again,
correct.
Our team, half our team is older, and I don't want to talk and say how dare I say some people are past their prime, but I think I can say some of us are past our primes, and we're not even some of us not even that old. But yeah, there was a difference. We were playing much more baseball. We were better in shape. I think I was bigger then, so I think it helped for me. But for some others, they were, we're not our prime where we used to be. Yeah, you put some of the guys on our team, but I think people don't realize like some guys on this roster having Yankee, Shia, and Sperling in the outfield 5 years, it's a whole different ball game. But it's no excuse. It's no excuse. You still have to understand the game, and I don't. And even if you're limited, what you used to be, you still can be smarter. What brings experience in an older age is smart. You're smarter, and you got to utilize that. Just utilize it. Let the game come to you. Understand exactly what's happening in the game, who's up, and percentage wise where the ball's going to go, and live with it. And if someone beats you with the, it's a little bit of analytics, but also just baseball fundamentals. If the 7-hitter is going to beat you with a ball that's just crushed over your head, that you live with it. You live with that result. It is what it is, because percentage wise, odds are against a faster pitcher, he's just gonna hit a line drive, 140 feet from the plate, not standing 200 feet away from these guys. It's just not gonna work.
Archie,
I hear you, Archie.
Yeah.
I hear you.
But
Archie.
David, to answer something you said earlier, so when I pitch, I like to have left and left center a little deeper. Left center, really not. I like to cheat a little bit, but for sure, right center and right. I like to play him shallower for all the reasons Archie said. And we were like, when we were in the field, I'm pulling guys in, and at the same time, guys in the bench, whoever was, giving the scouting and telling where to play, like, no, great hitter. He's a big hitter. He can play here, put it, push it back. And I get you want to respect them because they are great hitters. They put a really nice team on the field. But they're not, there's a difference between being a great hitter and driving the ball 225 feet to the opposite field. Like, it's not, Jack did it, but Jack is one of, he's a Kiddush, he's not, there's not that many
He's
Jack
a big
Rosses out
boy.
there.
Jack's a big boy.
Yeah.
He's got a big swing. He's one of few that can hit it like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was part of it. It was just the scouting didn't mesh with the coaching and the on-field coaching.
And we simply just didn't hit. Like I do.
Was
blame
there
the fielding.
one second? Was their outfield shallower? Did their outfield play much shallower?
No, but
but they were able to
hitters
get away with. They were able to get away with it. They were able to get away with it, like I said before, because they're all really, really, really fast and quick.
No,
we didn't test them.
We're much.
I'm not saying we tested
hitters.
them, but they're able to get away.
We're fly ball
with it.
hitters. We're much different type of hitters. We have much more power. They had a couple of good power guys.
That's true. Also, that's true.
They were shortening their swings. They took good approaches to the plate. They had very good lineup, smart, and again, we didn't. Besides Jack, we didn't drive the ball to the opposite field either. And they, so it wasn't like they could have played shallower. They were. I agree with Archie in that perspective for sure.
Just,
and we didn't hit. We didn't test the defense. We didn't test them.
We didn't hit. Honestly, it was just, and I say for myself, everyone included, there's no pointing fingers on one specific guy. It's all of us. We didn't perform, man. I don't know. People just got there driving 2 hours in traffic and just came there, maybe felt some pressure and this and that. I don't know. Maybe they were uncomfortable, playing against the new guys they don't recognize, new field. I don't know. But like, it was just a poor performance. It was just a poor performance. I say it as it is, man. Like Muncie, like their team, they'll probably say to themselves, "Wow, we didn't even play to our full potential."
No, they are. All morning they're saying it.
All morning. I wait for Uri to get on.
If that's what they think
all
their
morning
ceiling is.
All morning they've been telling me that they dominated us. So I wrote you guys split and won game 2 on 4 hours, and you're talking like you're the 98 Yankees. Like, where is this coming from?
Listen, if they think this is what they are, then let them think that. I mean, to me, that's a pretty low ceiling. If this is what they think their team is. But then again, like, really, a guy like Yitzi Rosen, smart enough to know what his team is. I was talking to him about it. Like, this is what they expected how to win a game, almost like they're used to it. Team make a couple errors and they got the legs to steal some runs. And that's what they did. But then again, like, you tighten up your defense, you have your real players playing the real positions, having everyone at their best, where they play their best position. Do you think I didn't want to play third base? Yeah, but I know Rokas got way more range and a better arm. You know, I'll take my veteranship over that, but I know what he's capable of, and I'd rather play first base because I consider myself the best first baseman anyways. So you have a guy like that. You want guys playing where they
I love that
probably
confidence.
play the best. You want guys like that, and it's a shame because you have guys like Zinn and Rokach who are just money all game, and then just like bloop here, and the ball's just hanging in the air for just a couple people to catch it. No drops, and then just ball rolling. Honestly, I was embarrassed to be part of that game. I drove back last night. I was thinking about driving off a bridge. I was just embarrassed. I played on such good baseball teams, and it's not to say our team wasn't. Our team had a lot of skill. He just didn't perform, man. I don't know what it was. It was just embarrassing to be a part of. Like I told, Silver was there, Lobo's nephew. His brother's actually my brother-in-law, Gershi, and I played on Lobo's team for a lot of, and I learned a lot of baseball from those years, and just had to be a better player. If you watched our team, he would be embarrassed of the Five Towns, what we did. It was an embarrassing performance. And you want to tell me that we had older guys and whatever it is, we are way better than we showed up to play with. And it was I don't know. I honestly, I was like embarrassed of ourselves. The ball's being kicked around and then thrown to home. Every runner's advancing. Like, we're smarter than that, guys. We're smarter than that. So it's just really, I don't know. I don't know what to say. Like,
I think it's a combination of smarts and also just young blood. I really believe it, Archie. These guys, Jakey Goldenberg and crew, they may not have the same aura, but they are just. He's unbelievable, that guy, and there's other guys also that aren't in the eye of the HSL's upper echelon leagues. For reasons rightfully so. Maybe they can't hit as well, but they're just so dominant in positions. And I just don't think we did research, but I think eventually we got to the point where, like, okay, this guy's out, that guy's out, that guy's out. Let's just roll with what we have. When in a sense we could have continued to dig and potentially gotten those extra guys. That's just my thoughts.
Sure,
it's my
yeah.
opinion.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Doesn't explain great hitters not hitting to their
100%.
Dave,
I didn't pitch to my
It's like
capabilities.
the core of the lineup. Like, we didn't have base runners. And again, you can make a case. A lot of these guys haven't played the same amount of baseball that they used to, and probably some of these other guys on the other team are playing way more baseball. There are guys there that play in 4 different leagues in 4 different cities. Something that guys like me and Yankee and Sperling, we used to do that 8 years ago, but we don't. So you can maybe it's a lack of being locked in and just whatever it is. But at the end of the day, and like, maybe you're just limited with the range of players like you used to have. Like, Five Towns leagues 5-10 years ago was so different. Just different.
All right,
I was
welcome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go ahead.
Abby.
No, go.
I
You take
want
it.
to welcome to the podcast. First of all, the king of softball is here. Uri Adler is the king of softball. But then we have softball himself. He is
If you're gonna
softball.
consider Uri the king of softball, that's like, where like you had Rome, and then you have these like outside villages. You had these smaller kings. That's, you can say that. Like, David, to say the king of softball, man, you're showing you haven't been around for a long time, man. It's very
I'll say it like
insulting to
this.
some players who have been there for 15 years. Steve Pollen's still grinding this out at 20 years. He's seen a lot more than you have, man. So be careful with your titles.
Okay, and then we have
the first
softball.
First thing I want to say is that last night
want to
was
hang up. I do want to disconnect myself because seeing Sammy's beard is such a turnoff right now. It's just crazy.
what's it called? First, I want to say that last night was absolutely fantastic. I had an incredible time. I thought it was a lot of fun.
Or shut up for a second. I gotta yell
No, you
at
shut up, Sam. Sam, you shut up. Thank
you. Shut up for a second. First,
You don't even know what we're talking about here. You don't even know what we're talking about. Exactly. That's first of all. Second of all is
in 1 minute. I have a meeting in 1 minute. Archie, I want to let you know you look beautiful. If you lose any more weight with Manjaro, if you do any more shots, you can't open up the sunroof because when you drive, you're gonna fly out the top. So.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know what to say, man. I don't know. I'm stuck in the middle. I'm nish the hair right now. I don't know. That's my problem. I'm not fast enough to be a guy that can steal bases and steal an extra base, and I've lost my power, so I'm nish the hair. It's time to retire.
It's called time for some Thursday night chilling, baby. Let's do it.
Yeah, it's true. Sarah's 10th.
Yeah, I guess so. Uri, let's hear your perspective, Uri. Like, everyone cares. Go ahead.
no. I'm just saying. Last night was awesome. That was it. You know what happened last night, Sam? You don't even know. Oh,
it really was. Uri's right. Uri, right before you came on, I said that. I'm like, at the end of the day, We're just talking about how just embarrassed I am with the performance of our team, and we're just better than we are. But at the end of the day, last night was a pretty cool event. Pretty shitty and cheap with the food, whoever arranged that. Saudi fries and a couple of like melted parva cheeseburgers. Thank you.
Wow.
I expected better from Muncie people. The Hasidim, they know food better than the Five Towns people, and was really let down. But other than that, the event, it was a pretty cool event. It really was.
Very
It was such
cool.
a
I
nice
thought it was a lot of
event.
fun.
A lot of guys know each other there, and it was just fun to be a part
I
of.
think
It
the
was really,
second
pretty
thing
cool.
also is that amongst all of it, who could have played better, who couldn't have, both these teams are highly talented and really good. You know, nobody's far better than the other. You play these games 10 times, it probably goes 50-50. You know, maybe not, maybe
True.
yeah, you can
True.
argue either way. It's two highly talented teams that are it makes for fun softball. That's first thing.
100%.
I think the most
100%.
shocking thing I saw out of your team, and I think you were mentioning it before, Archie, is so many balls were thrown home. Like that's not age, that's not range, that's like fundamentals.
Correct.
Like that.
It's not being locked in. It's not being locked in. I just didn't understand it. It was just like, guys, you know better. Like, you want to tell me you put some younger fielders who have like speedy legs and they can get the balls, but they lack some of the smarts. Fine, and they make that. You'll almost live with that mistake that they do because they can make up with it with their legs and steal a few hits. This was just like, guys, we're smarter than this. Why is the ball being thrown around? And I was saying this before, we also like it's a game of inches. And like if an infielder, just an outfielder, knowing who the hitters are, what the situation of the game, you stand 10 feet closer, none of those balls bounce in. None of those.
Yeah, a second thing also is that you have to, an outfielder has to know their infielder. We know that we have Avrami Rosenberg at second base. Right fielder can play a little bit back because the second baseman's going to get out on the bloop and he's going to make the play. You have the freedom to play a little bit further back. When you have an older guy playing second or shortstop or third, whatever, you know you have to pinch because he's not going to get out to the bloop. So you got to play with your field. You were playing a little far back, but at the same time, Joe Soria.
Adam just texted me. Hold on. Adam just texted me. He must be watching. Adam, this is not a knock on you. There were plays that on the outfield that were just deep. And there were plays where, like, I'm talking to Adam because Adam just texted me. Okay, guys? Adam, it was not your play.
What did Adam say, though? You didn't tell us what Adam wrote to you.
Like, he wrote there wasn't a bloop in front of me play. He's right. There wasn't bloops. There was line drives that Adam literally just missed by a few feet. He dove and it just missed. But I kept saying it was hard. People weren't hearing everything. People were saying different things. If outfielders were 10 feet closer, I think guys like Adam catch that like a can of corn catch. Just run in.
Yeah, but he's always
not a bloop down
in
front of him. I can make the case the right field plays, but I don't want to talk about that on live.
No, I'm saying that you make case the other way also is that how many balls did Adam get to? Maybe it wasn't like a gapper. If he's playing 10 feet closer, it's a much tougher catch.
Adam, if you are listening, guys, we're older. We don't have the range some of us used to have. Adam's a money outfielder, and I just felt like it was a little deceiving. Like almost when you look at them, you don't realize how deep. They don't realize how deep they are for a 6'7" hitter facing Steve Paulin and Kaufman who throw heat. Like, and I think sometimes the dirt just deceived them a little bit. They don't realize
they're definitely deceiving, but you also have to remember that 6'7" hitters in an all-star lineup is a 3-4 hitter in a typical lineup. So it's not so much 6'7", 8 hitter where the guy's batting the lineup. I mean, Joe Soria, the guy who dunked it in over there, that guy has pop like you've probably seen. But
again, that's
so you know,
fine. I was saying before, if a guy gets a hold of one and beats you that way, I can live. I tip a cap.
100%.
Go ahead. If we get beat that way, that's a good player beating us. That is fine. I can live with that. I just say I dare anyone to get a hold of one, get around on one on Steve and Kaufman to throwing their heat and beat an outfield, because you have to remember, even guys Adam and Sperling, even if a guy hits a bomb, they can get back there and catch that. The balls die a little bit with these softer clinchers. They can get back.
Archie, why don't you guys use the gold?
Separate conversation.
Yeah, whatever. Muncie plays with gold. They don't play with gold. No, we don't play with gold here. We don't play with gold, whatever it is. And it's not a knock. I'm telling you now, we as a team, we all played poorly. All of us, every single one of us did not play to what we're capable of. And it showed. And maybe some of these bloops took a toll on the hitting and whatever it was. It just was a poor performance for guys that are way more capable. And there's just no excuses for any of us. There's no
you know what I'm
excuses. And it doesn't mean, oh, that's why Muncie won. Muncie's a great team, good players. And you make a mistake, they are ready to pounce on it. They have their legs, and they still runs that way. That's all.
Yeah.
The
second thing is also I didn't see like a lot. I don't know if there's a lot of opportunity for it, but like I feel like a lot of guys were going up there trying to get the big hit, as opposed to you have a runner on second with nobody out, ground ball to second base, get the guy over. You know, small ball. These type of games, runs are hard to come by. If you could manufacture a run, that run is huge. You're not going to hit a home run. Yeah. It's not going to happen. So you got to manufacture runs wherever you can.
Both of your pitchers, Naftali, veteran pitcher, smart pitcher. I don't know the name of the other one, Shimowitz or something like that. Whatever it is.
Zavi
Smanowitz. He also good pitchers that throw strikes. They make people hitters, and we just didn't put the ball in play enough or test fielders. That doesn't mean you guys want to make the plays, but we got to test you guys, and we didn't. For guys that put the ball in play, we didn't do a good enough job of having hits, base runners. You know, it was too easy. There was a few innings where, like, I think I came back, dropped my glove, like 2.5 minutes later, I'm picking my glove back up to go to the field again. And that takes a toll on pitchers who throw a lot of pitches, and then the bloop, and then the error and the mistake and whatever. So it was
how many balls, Archie, how many balls do you think fell in front of outfielders? I'm talking both line drives and bloops.
So listen, the line drive.
You think it was upwards?
Line drives are clean hits, and it's not an outfielder's fault. The guy, like, sure, in hindsight, I mean, I was saying a lot in the game. Guys were too deep. But some of those, fine. It's a shame if outfielders are standing 5-10 feet closer, they make those plays. There was 2 or 3 important bloops.
Three
yeah. On the right side.
Yeah.
That to me, and not even like just they should be caught, man. They should be caught, and instead it was kicked around. I don't know. I don't want to get into it.
Sam was raising his hand before. Let's call him Sam.
Avi, before I ask my question to Archie on this one, why are you drinking from a container of monkey urine? Like, what is going on over there?
You want the real answer? I don't mind sharing
really.
it. All right. If you don't want the answer, I won't give it. If you want the answer, let me know. I'll give it at some point.
Have you guys ever seen the famous Kool-Aid clip?
Yeah, that's it.
Sam, you should see what's in here, and then you'll understand.
I want to know.
Put the pieces together.
Sam, if you're looking for that famous clip from what's his name again? I forgot his name. The comedian, the Cave, whatever that podcast. The famous Kool-Aid clip. You ever saw that? That was a reminder of that question. You should look it up if you guys want a good laugh.
Yeah, Last question. I know how difficult it was for you guys to schedule this game and arrange this game, but when you guys got on the field, why don't you think to do at least a 2-game set, or maybe do this on a?
We did. So I was gonna say, Sam. I was gonna say the way we're talking, it's almost as if it was
a split. It was a split.
Right. So right. So we played 2 games. The first game we squeaked out. We came back. We were down 1 in the last inning. We came back and won. I was about to say to your point, Sam. We're talking as if we're like, totally went out there and lost both games 15-0. Imagine we actually lost both games. You think Archie would even be awake yet?
Don't you have to settle this right now? Make it a 5-game or something?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we're going to.
All right, let's guys.
I actually think I was thinking about this morning. If you had to do a game 3, it should be 1 9-inning game. So also the players back in.
Well, I don't think you want to drive to Muncie. We don't want to drive to 5 now.
I played a 9-inning game. I think it would be fun, especially if you're making people drive somewhere, whatever it is. I think that should be done. 9-inning game. Yeah. By the way, Sam, to touch on the games, and yeah, it does sound like we lost both. We didn't. Game 1, the way I analyze is both teams didn't deserve to win the game. Right. We just got lucky that we won the game. Like, we didn't deserve to win. They didn't deserve to win. They also made mistakes. We just got the extra run and we won the game. That was like the difference maker. That was it.
Dubbin just made a nasty side-eye look at you, by the way, when you said that.
Dubbin had his thoughts. Dubbin, you could say your thoughts too.
I really want to hear
Steve
from
pitched
Uri.
the gem game 1, but we still didn't deserve to win the game.
The one thing I said going into the games is I said, first of all, you have to give credit to the Muncie guys for when you make mistakes and they jump on those mistakes. That's big.
That's exactly what I said. It's exactly what I said to start off this.
Not only that, the Muncie guys,
like, they wait for that. Wait for that.
The second thing is,
every single time you took advantage. Every single time.
Yeah.
The second thing is I huddled the guys up before the game and I said, guys, this game is an all-star game. Everybody on this field is great. You're not gonna, everybody's gonna make the plays. That's what's gonna happen. What boils down to in these games is who makes less mental mistakes. That's who's going to win the game, and that's ultimately what happened, right? In the first game, in the 7th inning, shortstop's playing too far back, defensive ground ball, and he doesn't have a play on it because it's too far back. That's a mental mistake. You lose the game on that, and then obviously what happened in game 2. But it's just these games are there's too much talent in this game that nobody's just going to throw a ball into the parking lot. It's not going to happen. It's just about mental mistakes, and that's what it boils down to in these type of games.
Correct. Softball,
I will say this though:
play with great teams is about fundamentals and no errors. If you can do that, you will never lose. You just won't.
When you play against those Dominican teams or those Italian teams, the score is always like 1-0, and who wins? The guy who makes the error. That's the other team that loses. That's how it is.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
Steve,
Nobody's
one of the things.
And by the way, when you have two all-star teams and even with great pitchers, you can even have a game that's 10-9 and no errors. It's possible. There's very good hitters on both sides. It's just like I just felt literally. I think all the runs last night, I think on both sides were just unearned. I was blown away. I don't know.
The only point of the game where MSL really attacked our pitching was after the 2-on, 2-out pop-up to the right side that dropped in, which scored 2 runs and made it 4-1. They binged out a solid 4 or 5 hits in a row against Kaufman. Line drive, back-to-back. That was, I think, the only streak.
The focus was lost after that. There was no more focus.
No, okay, granted. I'm saying, but I think that was the only. Yeah.
No, but Abby, one of those line drives, it was 4-1. It was that one that Archie was talking with Adam. If he was playing shallower, it was a line drive. It was a legit hit. I'm not saying it wasn't, but maybe if we play a different outfield, it's
granted.
Yeah,
I
think
the biggest part of that is out of those 4 hits, maybe 1 or 2 runs should come in. Instead, 4 runs come in because the guy's going to second every time.
Yeah, but who's captain?
So one thing I say is the Muncie guys.
But it's a very big
Muncie guys.
Steve, it's a big point over here. There's probably 3 center fielders playing the outfield on that point. Who's taking control? Who's the one that's going to be guys who play shallow?
So Sam, we discussed this earlier.
Well, I'll say this. In
Yeah.
game 3, it's going to be me. It's going to be me, and we're going to live with the decision. That's all I'm telling you.
Steve,
you sit your ass on the bench.
Yeah.
Steve, what was
so
your
let me say 2 things. To answer Sam, 2 things. So first off, we don't know the players, right? Most of us don't know any of the Muncie guys. So we're relying on guys on the bench to tell us where to play. After a couple of innings, though, we kind of had an idea of where to play. So when I pitched, especially, I don't know how Yossi feels. Certain guys like the outfielders pitch certain ways. I like guys playing shallow. I don't care. Let him beat me long. It's on me, like Archie said, especially on the right, on the right side. And our bench we're like arguing it. No, great hitter. These guys, monster, this and that. Play back, and it was a lot of confusion. We didn't have that one voice. Now I think we would have that going. And then second off, to Uri's point, is that we made mistakes, but the mistakes were made and caused because Muncie guys decided we're going to take matters into our own hands. When a bloop happens, okay, pick up the ball, move it in. It happens. Balls fall into holes at times. They attacked, and then when they attacked, we were thrown to the wrong base. We were making overthrow. Like that's when we were. It was a bigger problem than the actual bloops. It was what happened after the bloops.
2 times with a runner on first, 2 outs, a guy hits a blooper over first base, and the runner from first base scores twice. And that's credit to Muncie guys being aggressive and attacking.
And that's on the offensive side. That's on the defensive side. On the offensive side, we just needed more base runners. And it's funny as you can say, oh, Muncie plays some good defense because they have great defenders there. One of my favorite guys I've ever played with on that team, besides for Yitzi Rosen, who's my brother from another mother, is Winehouse as a shortstop. These guys are money players. They're great fielders. At the same time, you got to test these guys, and we didn't. The few times we had base runners, there was a little havoc, and we actually scored runs. You got to test them. We didn't test them. I don't think we had opportunities where a guy like Adam came on and it was second and third for a guy like Adam. He's going to rock one. He's going to score runs. We need base runners. We need fielders. End of the day, their outfielders or infielders never had to make tough decisions because there weren't a lot of base runners. Oh, should I make the throw to second? There wasn't tough decisions. They weren't tested.
Right.
And that's on us. We didn't hit as a team.
I think there were a couple.
It made it easy for them.
Oh, I think there's a couple of guys who did hit. I just think the line of construction, also the weird guys were hitting. I think bottom of the lineup was coming up with runners on all the time. 1 and 2 weren't really getting on. So Adam was batting 3, and he came up with 2 outs, nobody on.
Yeah.
times,
Our top
you know?
two hitters are 1 for 12 or something on the day. It wasn't good.
Sometimes it's just I talked about it last night post the game. Sometimes just putting people in different positions, you'd be surprised where they excel. And if you're a good enough hitter and a good enough player who's there to win, understand maybe you may be better off there than in that position than hitting there, just because, by the way, and it's not like I always say this, and it's a real thing. When a pitcher goes through a meat of a lineup of 1, 2, 3, 4 who are just hard outs, hard at bats, and then suddenly, by the way, maybe you're better if you're being the 5 guy, because then suddenly it takes a little off, and as a good hitter, you can take advantage. Like, it's just correct, constructing it a little bit better. And by the way, you can make that case as well, but at the same time, like 1 through 10 can hit, and pitchers who are saying
it's an all-star team. Everybody should
hit
be
the
able to
ball. Those
Dude,
pitchers aren't
Avi
trying to
Netter
strike you
batted
out.
nice
They're
last
saying
night.
hit
Come
the
on,
ball.
like the guy's a monster hitter. You know, it
Avi
wasn't
Netter was batting
who was
19 in your
batting
lineup.
where.
I'm like,
It was-
that's crazy, right? Same thing with us.
Yeah,
Dusty
whatever,
Rose was
like-
batting 8.
Yeah,
You know?
like everyone 1 through 10 is great hitters, so there's not really an excuse. Oh, better, sure. Maybe sometimes you can put a lineup and the guy excels there better. But at the end of the day,
Well, I'm not
1
arguing
through
on the
10,
construction of the lineup.
and
I'm
you-
saying
and-
happens to
and
be
you
the way
have
it worked
pitchers-
is that Adam didn't come up in any big spots because the
I
guys
know,
before him weren't
I
getting
know.
on. You know.
I know. I think me and like Adam, unfortunately, like it just wasn't the night. We're like, I don't think that we barely came up with a base runner on. Like, he let up a couple times. I let up a couple times.
Our veteran hitters showed out. Archie, Adams, Shia Weiss, and Sperling all hit really, really well.
We got a
Jack
few
did
hitters,
Adam hit
but
well?
Listen,
Yeah,
we
Adam-
done much better.
I
Yeah,
don't remember.
Adam-
Much better.
Adam
No one
was
hit to their expectations.
Adam was 3
No
for 6
one
to the
did.
walk. Adam was 3 for 6 to the walk. Archie was I think 3 for 6. Shia Weiss was 3 for 6 to the walk. Those guys all had
Sheila
3
Weiss
hits.
is 4 for 5. Sheila Weiss is, I think, 4 for 5 of the walk.
Oh, 4 for
She
5
was
to the
good.
walk.
Guys,
Oh,
there's
4
a
for 4
lot
is the
of
sacrifice fly. Yeah.
there's a lot of softball experience in this conversation right now, right? Steven, you playing for how many years? 30 plus years, whatever it may be. Archie, you playing for over 20 years. One thing that I always see, and it's just an underlying thing, whenever there are all-star teams assembled, every single person in their own right is used to being the star of their team. When you have everyone taking upon that, I'm supposed to be the star, you lose that camaraderie feel. And I feel like a lot of these team building teams usually beat teams that are all-star centric teams. And you think it's going to be great. It's not great.
Sammy, you bring up a very good point. Okay, this is one of the biggest things I talked about last night on the way home. I'm not gonna say with who, but I was on the phone ranting off to someone. Very
Jesse
R-rated
Kaufman.
conversation. No, that was the first. It was someone else. Okay. Sammy brings up
Yossi
a
was
very
busy
big-
with Dom. Yossi had his mouth full of Dom and
Right,
and-
exactly. Yeah. I
You're
said,
right.
even though we had Dom,
I mean, I don't know if he
I
had his
said-
mouth full. I did. I think
Sorry,
he
yeah,
had
the
his
opposite.
hands.
I think I had the line of the night. I said, even with Dom trying to cheat for us, we still effing lost. But anyways, he missed that call. The one effort, though. I actually thought Dom was pretty good. Except
He wasn't
for the
bad. That was bad. That
Only the right
pop-up was
field, the
bad.
right field call was bad. Other than that, you made all the right
By the
calls.
way, it's funny. Like, I turned around looking at Ellie Race to see if he's tagging because I already assumed he caught it. And like, I even missed the drop. Like, I didn't even see it. But like, apparently it was so obvious that like our whole team
It was
even
blatant.
like, huh? Like,
Blatant.
Dom
Sammy,
thought he caught it. I don't know. Whatever it is.
Sam, to
Okay,
touch
but
on your
to bring
camaraderie
up what
point.
Sammy, I just want to talk on Sammy's
Yeah.
point. Actually, it's very
Archie, we
very
got to
valid
get some
point.
other Archie. We got to get some other viewpoints in here soon. you
No,
know?
I
Yeah.
probably think it's the same thing as Archie. It's like that we had guys who came to the field dressed, who were ready to just run, who were ready to not even play, just backups. If you need me, I'm there. Like, we had guys who bought in like that. Like, they weren't – these guys bat 2 in their lineups on their respective teams and play shortstop. But they came like, if you need me, I'm here. Guys came just to pinch run. Like, you had buy-in like that, which was very key, and it builds like
Yeah,
a team
and-
feel
and-
as opposed to just, you know.
Which, by the way,
And-
is a
and
little
by the
bit. It's a
way-
little bit easier. It's a little bit easier when you're local. I know when you guys are going to come to
100%.
five towns. You just
100%.
have
Much easier to say, I'll hang out by the
That's
field.
a valid
if you
point.
need
That's
me, I'm
also a
over
valid
there.
point. That's also a valid point. I do think that you look at our team, you also had a bunch of guys where they haven't really played together. Like, there was a lot of different faces that, like, some of it, I don't know, there was a little bit of just like it didn't fit the way it normally does, and
It wasn't a
sometimes like
team.
and that doesn't mean you can't, like, oh, every all-star team you're not going to get that. No, I've played on some teams that have been all-star teams. Sometimes even just the regular roster has been all-star teams. Okay, and it fits. The camaraderie's there. People, it almost just gels. This guy's
Yeah, but
perfectly
Archie,
hitting
you're referring
and
to
we
the Hammers team that you used to play with all the time. Very different. This is like like you said, it's a hodgepodge puzzle. That's what you're putting together over here.
Right. But no, sometimes, like, I'll tell you, like, there are teams, for example, Shia Weiss, I play with a lot on my team, and I've also played a lot against him. Adam, the same thing. So those guys you can, like, fit. It almost fits like a glove when you play together. But there were like another 5-6 guys on the team, for example. We don't really play much. And guys also, by the way, not an excuse. This is the reality. Some guys on our team haven't played as much softball the last couple of years. A la Sperling, Shia Weiss, injured, Yankee. Like, some guys just haven't played as much, and you're not playing with a lot of these other guys. And like you said, Avi brought up a good point. You bring up, you guys drive 2 hours, you got to play, and like, he's right. Like, so, like, it just didn't work, whatever. But then again, like, it still comes to guys 1 through 10 can hit, man. The pitchers are
but I'm saying if you have guys who are past their prime and haven't played a lot, maybe it's time for a new.
Well, that was my point. That was my point of, in my opinion, every single position should be your top position. You have guys in our outfield who are phenomenal hitters. There are better outfielders than them. You got to get them in the outfield. It's hard because
especially when you're playing with unlimited slotting. Get a guy in the outfield.
Yes, correct. Like I said, a J.K. Goldenberg, a Shlomo Raw. You have guys that are phenomenal outfielders. Don't get the same recognition as a top tier player because they don't necessarily play A-League ball all the time. But they're just so fast. They're so quick. They're smart. They're unbelievable. Even in infield also.
Steve, what do you think about what Avi's saying? Because I don't think you share his viewpoint on that issue.
I think he does.
So there's two. So again, I agree to an extent. I also feel confident in pretty much every guy out there last night. It wasn't like we had Schleppers in the outfield or in the infield. Like, we had great players in all positions, and sometimes guys just don't have the best nights. That's part of it. B, when to Sam's point, and Uri spoke about this earlier, every single guy that on that roster is a star. They're the best player on their team or second best player on the team for years and years and years. And you're asking somebody now who has been, the top 3-4 player in the league for 20 years. Okay, you're going to just play, you're just going to come in and maybe pinch hit, or you're just going to hit and not field. Like, they're also put in a role that they're not necessarily used to.
Yeah.
And that's not so easy for a guy like Glenn Zuckerman, for example. Glenn's a great fielder. He plays first base for me, on all the teams. He's a great first baseman. He plays third base for another team I play on, and he's a great hitter. I didn't speak to Glenn about this, but just using an example because off the top of my head, I don't know how Glenn handles, not mentally, just from a comfortability standpoint. It's not something you do on a day-to-day basis. He's just hitting. He's like, here's a guy goes out as a glove, throws the ball into the infield, and now we just sit on the bench, get a bat every 2-3 innings, especially when we're not hitting. So I think those things have to be taken into account. I don't know the right answer.
It is a valid point, but
you can make the same point. Yeah, it probably does, by the way. But, like, I agree. A guy like Glenn, like, especially an older guy like that, it needs a little bit of rhythm. And you can see it on some younger guys, too. Like, I can make a case, Lowinger, for example, is a very good pesky hitter. And, like, maybe him also not playing the field took a toll on his hitting. Like, it is a big thing, whether you're older or younger. It makes a difference.
Yeah, but it happens all the time.
I think it's worse when you're older. It's worse when you're older, especially when you were a premier player for 20 years.
Yeah, even in the majors, you have a guy like Giancarlo Stanton with one pinch hit homer in his career. The guy's got 500 home runs.
No, it makes a difference. Of course, as I'm saying is that, like, we had the same thing, right? Levi Chamowitz, he plays shortstop and bats 1 on his team in Muncie, and he comes in a pinch hit spot and bangs a single up the middle because his mindset is, I'm prepared for whatever it is. He's a superstar. He plays shortstop and bats leadoff on his team. He comes in and batting 9th and not fielding in game 2 and comes in a pinch hit spot and bangs a single up the middle. It's a lot of mindset also. And if you come with the mindset of, this is what it is, let me give everything I have and buy into whatever role I'm given.
Although, Uri, I actually have a question on that, not related for a second. I'm just very curious, actually. There were rumors going around, I'm curious, Uri, if you were involved in this, that with first and third 2 outs in the 7th inning of game 1, when you guys were down by 1 in the bottom of the 7th, I heard Levi was approached to pinch hit in that spot and shut it down. Is there any truth to that rumor? And do you know why he said no? Is that just because of
100% truth to that? And the reason why he said no is because he's too nice and he didn't want to take the bat from Max.
Right. I would think it makes sense. Levy's a pesky hitter. He's a poke hitter, singles hitter. Max is a tremendous power, but he wasn't really hitting that well. And he's sort of nothing hitter.
He was going to take it. He was offered to take it, and he said he didn't want to take it from Max, which you can't, that's that, you know.
I was so depressed after game 2 yesterday. Everything that went in one ear, I can't remember if I'm actually hearing it or if I was just thinking it. So I wanted to confirm if that was true or not.
That happened. You know?
I honestly, it's hard for me to fathom what would have happened if we would have lost both. Like, I feel like we're on here giving a funeral for the HSL.
Okay,
Rightfully
so I want to intervene. I want to intervene on this because
Here's where Dave comes in.
Archie. Yeah. Because Archie, I mean, I love the HSL. I love the guys. I love the players. There's so much energy, so much passion. I am, as Archie said before, I am somewhat new to the softball community. I got involved 5-6 years and was never a top tier player. So I, don't have the same level of personal connections. But like, I'm sitting there. Archie's back. I'm sitting there in the chat this morning with the Muncie commissioners and Race and Uri, and they are shitting. Oh, and Sam was in that chat too. Shitting on the HSL. And they're talking about how we stole a game and, they dominated. And I'm there saying, we got a 55-year-old pitcher who you guys managed to get like 3 hits off of in 7 innings. And then in game 2, sorry to make fun of your age, Steve, but that's how your prime time.
I didn't do well. I was.
By the way, Dave, you're acting like Sam Star right
wait.
now and painting a story that never happened to make it fit what you want to say next.
Sam Star. Continue, Dave. I like it. Keep it going, Dave. It's a good narrative.
Then in game two,
Building up a narrative.
You guys, well, that's it. Yeah, there's competing narratives. In game 2, you guys put up 2 runs early on errors again, I think. And then it's 2-1 going into the bottom of the 5th. You guys put
top six. Top six.
Like I said to you in the chat, Dave, I said, was there a third team that was making the errors? What was going on?
No.
Oh.
I'm making a different point. What I'm saying is that nobody ever comes. Look, when the Mets go into a stadium and they go into a stadium or go into a game and the other team makes 5 errors and they win, they say that was ugly, but we got it. You guys didn't play that well in game 2. Avi is right. After that meltdown by our side in inning 6, then like Archie said, the focus was lost. There were 4 hits in a row. It was kind of game over, which you're right. It was our team. An L is an L. Everybody's taking the L. But the idea that the MSL, the guys in the chat this morning, they're talking about how deep they are and how this they are and blah, blah, blah. And you stole one and we're lucky and this. And leaving aside the home field advantage piece.
Hello. Guys like Ellie Race need their first confidence. These guys haven't won a lot in their careers. Let them have
What did Ellie Race do in a big spot in the 7th inning? I forget. Do you remember?
No,
you guys remember
just saying that.
Please remind me. I want to be reminded.
So I just,
but he got the field in good shape. So congratulations, Ellie. I'm very happy for you.
I was very happy when I saw Ellie Race come up at bat. I was very pumped.
So anyway,
I was already doing the punch out sign. I was doing the punch out sign.
I gave him a 3-0 head start.
I knew I was coming through, so you didn't want to see with runners in scoring position.
I knew. Listen, I gave him a 3-0 head start. I thought he would be all right.
Anyway, so we're sitting here like it's the HSL. So you gave him a head start.
I gave Ellie a 3-0 head start, but he didn't take advantage.
He gave him a handicap. So we're
Dave,
sitting
finish
here
your point, Dave. I like the point you're making. It's good.
We're sitting here like it's the HSL form, like it's the HSL funeral. You walk into opposing territory. There seems to be, from what I'm hearing, again, we lost, but there is a home field advantage thing there that we screwed up by not understanding the field properly. Which I don't think is such a small.
Being home, so yeah.
Okay, that too, which I don't think is such a small thing. And we won, and we won a game. And game 2, we dropped the ball literally a few times, which does not speak to MSL 1. They capitalized on those errors. A ball could have dropped in, then you could have struck out 3 times in a row, 100%. But I mean, if you put up 4 E's in a game, which is debatably what we had in game 2. I mean, B League in our B League. It's hard to win with 4 errors. So
you don't win. You do not win. You don't deserve to win.
So MSL, so all the schlongs.
You can't have balls
that
popping out of
MSL
gloves.
is doing.
You can't have that, man. You just can't.
That's my 2 cents.
News.
The
Breaking
rhythm
news.
of a pitcher and hitters. You can't have that, man.
Archie,
can't.
breaking news. I just heard that Ellie Race is entering the chat as we speak. He texted me enough slander. Steve, get ready. Any moment now, he'll be popping on.
Finally, something
David,
he's good at. Get him on.
David, I also want to take an exception with one thing. Also, I disagree. We won game 1. We deserved game 1. We were down, and in the last inning, and we came back and we had a big double by Jack to get on base. Then we had a couple of walks, and then they made a mistake with bases loaded, but we tied the game already. We put bases loaded. We earned it wasn't like they made errors to get that run and bases loaded. We earned those at bats and we won, and we made the plays in the field in the 7th inning to win the game. So I take.
No, but at the same time,
we deserve to win.
No, you're 100% right. I don't think anybody in the chat. Dave painted a nice narrative.
We might have tied the game, by the way, cleanly, sort of, but at the same time, the winning run.
Winning cleanly, a double, a walk, and a base hit.
Yeah, we tied.
The last one.
Their error got us the lead run, which ended up being the winning run for the game.
But their errors our errors gave them the runs to start with, so it works both ways. You got to work both ways. Yeah.
I think Dave painted a nice narrative. I don't think anybody said he didn't deserve a win or anything like that.
What does stole one mean? Uri, what does the word stole one mean? Define the word stole one. That's what I was hearing all morning from the Muncie guys. Yeah.
You ready? You're taking the word stole. It's very, very literal. What was the conversation that happened was when you walk away from the field after 2 games, I think the Muncie guys said, you know what? I think we won game 2 handily, and we easily could have won game 1. Therefore, we walked away saying we should have swept, right? And when you walk away from a field that you clearly lost game 2 pretty decently handily for whatever reason, and you won a close game in game 1, you walk away saying, okay, at least we got 1. That's just a mindset of it, right? When you walk away and you win handily in game 2 and a very close game, which you easily could have won in game 1, you walk away and say we should have swept. When you walk away from a game that you lost, 1 second, Sam. When you walk away from a game and say and you lost one bad, and then you stole means when you stole one away from us, meaning we were up in the 7th and then you came back and won, deservedly so. It's considered a steal. It's not stealing as if you're gonna get arrested like you stole something that's not yours. It's just stealing it in the way of you took it from within our hands. That's it.
I want Race to address the strikeout.
No, I want you to tell us what you're drinking.
I'm drinking actually Howard's.
If I have to summarize, by the way, Ellie raced the strikeout. Okay.
Archie.
By the way, Dave, was that a good enough explanation for you? Dave, was that a good enough explanation? Was that a solid explanation, Dave?
Count them up. There were 5 balls thrown at bat.
I need to work. Uri, I need to work on it.
There was 6. I think there was 5 strikes thrown at bat.
Every time someone calls
Steve, is what I said make sense? Does that make sense?
Ellie's a good.
Yes. I don't
Ellie's
disagree.
By the way,
Dave said, "What do you mean stole?"
Ellie's a good hitter. He's got good legs. It was a 3-2 pitch that honestly. That pitch was on the letters or maybe a drop high, but the ump is, and I told Ellie I would protect. The ump has shown all.
He's calling that all game, and the pitch right before he called the same thing.
It was out
by the way,
and up.
Definitely not out.
I said Naftali.
Ball course play.
Naftali hit that spot so many times. To his credit, the high strike, and the ump kept calling it. But Ellie did say, I was on first base after that. Ellie said he thought it was outside. That I can't attest to. But the letter was like so perfect where he called it all day. But Ellie, that's why, Ellie, I said I would have just swung to protect. I would never leave it in that guy's hands. You can't do that because he's showing.
No, I didn't think it was even close. I thought the 3-1 was a makeup. I don't know what the 3-1 was, and it was the same far outside as the 3-1, just higher. So I was like, I didn't even think it was even close to protect.
Right. I watched them both again today. They were strikes.
3-2 pitch. I would never take that chance. He's shown he'll call strike 3. The guy consistently. He was a strike caller.
It is what it is.
It's a good thing in softball. I was shocked you didn't swing. I was so shocked. Like also, if you recall, Ellie, you had a different at bat where you remember you ended up like blooping one over second base, whatever it is, where you like fouled off some tough pitches to protect. Like you earned that one. Like that's what I thought would be similar. Like you foul off a good pitcher strike that like whatever it is, and whatever. That's why I was shocked you didn't swing there.
I like to think I know the zone.
The second it passed, I was like, I just like knew he's punching you out. I just knew it.
Yeah, listen, you hate that. I hate to be in that spot, especially whatever. I just didn't feel like I even saw a strike in that at bat. I was, the first one wasn't really close. I didn't feel like it was close. It felt like he was a little bit of a gimme, and then whatever. It's tough, but I'll tell you, winning and talking about I don't win. I don't know what's going on over here, but I got a couple of trophies over here.
Oh, that's very cute.
What does that say? 2024 champs.
That's so cute, Ellie. I'll buy you a mini trophy case.
Yeah, you should, because I'm running out of space in all my HSL trophies.
I'll tell you when you know
All
when
right,
you
Dave,
won enough.
guys,
When you start
take care,
throwing
good
out the
talking to you. I gotta get back to
trophies.
work.
That's the sign.
Hurry.
That's the sign of
All
winning.
right. We should wrap up.
All I
as
know
it
is I got 3 rings before Steve has 1 in the last 2 years.
I gotta go.
Oof.
I gotta get back to work.
I have a ring from last year also.
Great fun last night. I'm looking forward to game 3.
All right,
Guys, if
Murray,
you
thanks
want-
for coming
guys,
on.
See you, Marie.
If I will tell you right now, if time permits and my schedule permits, I will be there and I'll record it for you guys.
Okay.
Ho, ho, ho,
All right.
ho. The stakes
right,
have just
guys,
gone up.
I gotta jump also.
All right,
Ellie
guys.
was,
But it was-
thanks so much for
Ellie, it was
coming
easy
on.
to get you on. Huh? A little couple of comments, we got you on pretty quickly. I like it.
Love you, El.
Listen, I was waiting in the on the on deck circle.
All right, guys. Thanks so much.
Boys,
We'll
yeah.
see you soon.
Okay.
Sam, thanks for
Thanks.
joining. Bye.
Okay, that's it.
Yeah, listen.